and you can quote this on me. There is no way the Orioles or Red Sox make the playoffs this season. Yeah, yeah. There's no way. There's no way.
I set the bar really low at the NBA predictions.
I don't think all Mavs fans look into the stats like I do.
It's not the great value Target brand toilet paper or whatever. It's the Charmin Ultra Strong.
I don't know if Nick Nurse is the coach for the Raptors. I don't know if he's the reason why they won the 2019 championship. I feel like that was more of a team effort.
The Mavs cannot say we do not miss Seth Curry shooting threes.
This questions the firing of Dwayne Casey, who I think is a very underrated coach.
To me, the Capitals really pushed all their chips for this season.
Hello, I'm Mike Grimes, and you've been listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NHL Opinions of the Week. You know, we talked about one big trade, Chris Tanev going to the Dallas Stars. That was a few days ago. Make sure to check that out. Make sure you're following Instagram for that. And now we're going to talk about the trade deadline because it is upon us. Even though there have been some trades, the Canucks, I believe, traded. No, it was the Ducks traded with the Maple Leafs. We saw that happen. And then the Canucks extended Peterson.
Yes.
Or I know it. Okay.
Pedersen,
and
but yes.
Pedersen. Yes, the man with the correct pronunciation, Austin.
Well, it's right around the corner, Kevin. The trade deadline is March 8th, so we're going to try to get out ahead of this. It's really hard in the NHL to guess players or do sort of a mock trade like we did with the NBA. So we're going to go a little bit differently here and just list teams that we think should make moves or will make moves in sort of a predictive sense. So, Kevin, who do you want to start with?
You know, these are separate lists. I'll go. This one's probably easy. This is our the one we probably agree on. The Oilers as buyers.
Yep, I thought that was the one that I had down. I'm like, you should definitely have this, Kevin, and I'd be kind of disappointed if you didn't because they really need a goaltender. They need goalie experience. There's guys that are on the market. Maybe you could get a Fleury, even though he's sort of kind of past his prime at the moment, but he would still have playoff experience and he'd still be, I think, a good guy to go for. The Wild are still 8 points out of a playoff spot, so I don't know necessarily what they're going to be doing. I don't necessarily have them in my sellers, but I think that would be a good option. What were you going to say?
I was thinking, so I think the Wild, this could totally be like they're trying to up their value, but they said we're going to keep Andre Fleury. But I heard something about Calgary and Jacob Markstrom, but that's probably Calgary wouldn't trade to Edmonton, right?
I think there would be a fire somewhere. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the Alberta teams. I don't think that's ever happened. So no.
Okay, so definitely not.
I would be shocked. So let me put it that way.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's a guy on the market, like you were saying. I'm trying to think. Well, this kind of leads into my other thing. So we got buyers. Maybe the Seattle Kraken, because they're one of my sellers.
My only seller that I have is the Ottawa Senators. They're having a much worse year than they expected to or maybe should have. But Kraken, they're right next to the Wild spot. They're 1 point above them, 1 point below them, so they're 9 points out of a playoff spot. The 8 seed and 7 seed are both tied right now. It's the Nashville and the Kings both have 72 points. The Kings are higher though because they have a better points percentage. So they still have a long way to go, but I could see them buying in just because they know what they can do if they sneak in. If the Kraken just sneak in last year as an 8 seed, they ended up beating the Avalanche in the first round, so I could see that. The Senators, though, selling, it's new ownership. I think selling would get them a better chance to get a good draft pick. They're not going to sell like any of their best guys like Drew or Tkachuk or any of the best guys, but I definitely think they could sell some top 6 forwards or guys that they don't see in the long term or guys they're going to have to re-sign.
Yeah, I thought about putting the Senators, but I didn't see them doing a dramatic shift or just like a wholesale. I thought kind of what you're thinking, or this is what I'm thinking you're saying is they're like sell some like vet deals, guys that are expiring this year. But I think I heard rumors, I saw a tweet about the Kraken holding out a player. due to trade speculation. So I think they might try to gear up because they are a good team. They got some good players. We talked about them in the playoffs, but maybe their team, that's why I brought them up after the Oilers. They have a goaltender. Who am I thinking of? It's not the Avalanche. It's not Kemp. No, it's not Grubauer. But I thought there was another one that maybe
For who?
they are for the Kraken trading with the Oilers. I don't think they'll trade Kemper. Or no, Grubauer.
I mean,
Not
you mean
Kemper.
Grubauer.
Yeah, I mean Grubauer.
But
But isn't there another one? Or is he
they
too
have
young?
what's the young guy's name?
I got you.
I know he went to Arizona
Oh,
State.
Decord?
Decord.
No.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
he went to
Joey
Arizona
Decord.
State.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, we've talked about this.
He's he was on Ottawa. He doesn't have much experience, but he's playing well this year, and I definitely think he could get an opportunity as a starter, especially with the Oilers are. So yeah, that could work.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I brought him up. So now we're 2 for 2 right now. You got Ottawa selling, and you have the Oilers as buying.
Yeah, I'll go to my third team. My third team is the Penguins. Sidney Crosby's having a top 10 season in the league right now. One of his best seasons of his career. He's on pace for over 50 goals. I had them as buying. I know they are not in the situation to where they have that much to give up to acquire guys, but they have to make a move because you can't have all these old players on your roster and expect that next year is the year. It has to be this year still. All you have to do is sneak in a playoff spot. They're currently, I believe, 6 points. Let me check just to make sure. In the East, they are... Oh, no, they're only 4 points out.
Oh, they're only 4 points out.
No. They're 10 points out.
I see they're second
they're
in...
No, they're 9 points out. 9 points out. 9 points out.
Okay. They're second to last in the Metropolitan Division, which is what I saw.
Yeah, but they're 9 points out because the Flyers have 71 points. That's third in their division. It's really close between like Islanders, Capitals, Devils, and Penguins. It seems like the Atlantic Division will get 5 teams in, and then the top 3 from the Metropolitan will make it. And the Penguins being 9 points back, just like the Kraken, they can go all in. They have a positive point differential or a goal differential. They are +8, while the Flyers, who are right now in the playoff spot, are +5. So they just need to contribute more in the games they're losing, steal some more points. I think they're going to buy. They know what they're doing with health-wise and age-wise, and the best move for them is definitely to buy.
Yeah, I'm in perfect agreement for you because they're my buyers as well. I didn't think of them as selling. I have one more seller, but for all the reasons you said, Crosby and the trade they made with the Sharks to get Carlson, I just think they're going to mortgage the future and they could have an epic collapse, but this is their decision. This is the path they're going down. So I think they're going to be big buyers at the deadline and they're going to do whatever they can because I saw their last in the Metropolitan Division. They're not out of it, but they're currently on a 3-game losing streak. And I believe one was when, they lost 6-1 to the Oilers. So I think they're going to make a lot of moves, and we could see a lot happening. So that's my view of it. So, okay, we agree twice. I was pretty sure you weren't going to have the Penguins on here, but I was wrong.
So who's your last team?
My last team is the Minnesota Wild. I heard rumors that they were looking to trade one of their defensemen. I'm trying to remember his name. Oh, man. He's the guy that hit Pavelski.
Dumba?
Yeah, I heard there were rumors him to the Stars, which would have been super complicated or super weird.
The guy who made the hit is on
Dumba.
the Coyotes.
I thought it was Dumba.
Who made the hit?
Yeah.
It was.
That knocked. Huh?
It was Dumba, but he's not on the team anymore.
Oh. Right. Then what? What thing did I see
it was. It was.
Okay.
It was Dumba that hit Joe Pavelski, but Dumba's on Arizona.
Huh. And who's the person? Because I saw Dumba to the Stars, which could have been. But I think they're a team that could be selling. They could sell a little bit more of their older players because they were against the cap a few years ago. That's when they cut Suter and, man, I can't remember the other guy. Zach. So I think they could try to get younger and they could make some moves because they want to build around Kaprizov. Okay, man, I don't know where I got Dumba then. Huh. But so that, and they're probably going to try to pay Philip Gustafsson, or I think he's having a little bit more of a rough year than I expected. So I think they're a team that's not doing well, and I could see them trading a lot of their play, trading some major pieces to kind of help the future with Kaprizov.
Yeah, I also would say, I don't have on my list, but I do think that selling is more likely than buying at this deadline. But my last team, it's a team that I didn't think you were going to have, but I kind of went with because the rest of their division is making moves, and that's the Avalanche's buyers. The Avalanche have watched the Stars trade for a defenseman because they need defense. The Jets trade for an offensive player because they needed offense. And both for the Stars, I don't think Tandem's played yet, has he?
No, he's supposed
Still working on his visa.
Yeah, maybe Tuesday. Tanev Tuesday.
Okay, well, Tanev projects to be good with the team. Sean Monahan has played well for the Jets. And I think if the Avalanche want to be in that contention still, they're going to have to make a trade. I know Nathan McKinnon is looking like he could maybe win the Hart this year. He's been very, very good. But in my opinion, they still have room for improvement, and that comes with making a trade this deadline to improve your team. Right now, by points and points percentage, they are third in their division. First is Winnipeg, then Dallas, then Colorado. And they're not really that close because Colorado's 4 points behind Winnipeg, but Winnipeg has 2 less games played. So 2 less games played with 4 more points. The Colorado could fall behind really quickly, and they don't want to do that. So they're my last team that I could see is buying.
They were a team I considered, the Avalanche, for the reasons you said. And here's the thing, I was just listening to a podcast about this. Whoever doesn't get that number 1 has to face
the other
second
one.
Yeah, the other one. We could see the Stars versus Avalanche in the first round. We could see the Avalanche versus the Jets.
Or Stars versus Jets if the Avalanche have a resurgent comeback.
Because I was thinking about it for the Stars. If you can get that number 1 spot, like it did happen to the Avalanche last year, but it gives you an easier path and gives
Not an easy path, but an easier one.
Easier than facing off against, like if you're the Avalanche, you're either going to have to face Hellebuck if you don't get the number 1 pick in the first round.
And an improved offense.
Yes, that's a good point with the trade you were mentioning. And you have the threat of Ottinger. Ottinger hasn't been Ottinger of old, but if he gets there for the playoffs, that's a tough matchup. Versus, well, even if you get the Predators, you have to face Saros. But that's pretty much it on the Predators if you're the Avalanche.
Yeah, and it would be Predators right now, but they have some good players. I like Philip Forsberg, and Roman Josi is still one of the best defensemen in the league, and they still have Ryan O'Reilly. But outside of those 3 guys, they're just not as deep as a team as you would need to be scary. And again, any team in the NHL that makes the playoffs could go on a run. And the Predators could go on a run. I mean, they have one of the best goalies in the league in UC Saros, and that's all you need sometimes. But if you're the Avalanche, you would rather play the Predators than the Stars or the Jets. And that's the same for the Stars and the Jets. A Stars-Jets in the first round would be horrible for both of those teams.
That'd be horrible. Because one of those teams is going to be out of the first round. And we've talked how big of a season it is for the Stars. We've mentioned how big it is for the Jets. And this is probably a big thing for the Avalanche, too. Big season. They want to... Because they do have that disappointment. We're talking about the number 1 seeds. They were a number 1 seed that lost to the Kraken.
Scared of 1 seed again. Maybe they don't want it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I know their coach commented on, he's like, we would like to get the 1 seed, but it just depends on what it takes for us, which is a good point. Like, if I'm going to waste all my players' energy to get the 1 seed, that's not going to put me in a good spot.
That's why I'm not worried about Ottinger right now. Maybe you're just trying to rest him a little bit before the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it will get better because of Tanev. He is hopefully, fingers crossed, Tuesday. I saw a tweet. It's you got Taco Tuesday or you got Tanev Tuesday. I'm team Tanev Tuesday.
Okay. That's an interesting one. Never heard that one before.
Well, yeah, it was from a tweet off from the DJ for the Stars. But yeah. So yeah, I think their Stars are doing that too, but they're trying to get the number 1 seed, and I think you make a great point bringing up the Avalanche's buyers, and we'll just have to see what they do. What would you like them to add? Like offense, defense?
Another defenseman. I like Cale Makar, but they could use a bottom 6 defenseman. Same as the Stars could add another bottom 6 defenseman or bottom 2 pairing defenseman, because there's only 6 defensemen or 7 defensemen sometimes. But a bottom 2 pairing guy, a guy that can just be a good, solid defenseman that can just defend. You have Cale Makar, you have Miro Heiskanen for both of those teams that are maybe Cale Makar is a little bit better, but those guys are on the same level. Like they're the same caliber of player, and you need a defenseman to play with those guys sometimes. And I think adding one more at least to those to the back end would help.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, and I believe both those defensemen are in our top 5 defensemen.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, maybe even top 3. But make sure you check out that video and let us know what you think about NHL predictions. And for the man to close this one out, Austin.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. Please catch us in our next video. What teams do you think should make trades or will make trades? Thank you again.